Hi, welcome to the first episode of Euro
Let's
Review.
let's come up with something good to start with. Don't want to start on just like a. You see, we could just start on this.
We could just start on this, yeah, but it's
Yeah, that's
perfectly
great.
fine.
Hi,
That's
welcome
how...
to your review.
Welcome
It's
to
all gonna
Euro
be this
Review.
bad.
It's all gonna be this bad. It's going to be just autistic, unadulterated, unfiltered yapping, which
Yeah,
probably will get us in trouble. I don't care.
most likely. I'm gonna lose all of my sponsorships that I don't have.
Yeah, me
But
too.
this, yeah, to start with, this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. If you want therapy, go anywhere else. Um,
Oh man, I
jeez.
I really wish I could hear what Ash is saying. However, in my country, Ash is blocked. If only I had a VPN.
This
Right.
podcast is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
Oh man,
Yeah.
we're already off the rails.
I mean the Eurovision stream is blocked in the UK.
Yeah,
I wish I had a
right.
VPN.
Yeah, maybe we get sponsored at
Okay,
some point.
who knows?
Who
Basically,
knows?
what we're gonna do here is like a little retrospective on 2025 before we start doing new, never seen before journalism.
Never seen
That will
before
totally be
journalism.
super serious, I promise.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so,
Let's
before we
get it out
start,
of the way before we do anything.
yeah, before anyone counts as a view or a listen or whatever, um, I do have to say that we won't be discussing anything about Israel in this podcast. It's our position that they should be excluded from the EBU due to the ongoing genocide in Gaza,
That's
which is
all
a
we'll
real
say on it.
buzzkill, honestly.
Yeah, so, like
So,
right after the cheerful, jokey
I
intro,
know,
but
I know, but like, it has to be said. We have to
it
get it out of
has
the
to be
way.
said.
It has to be
Yeah,
out. I don't want to have someone. I don't want to have people who are expecting to hear something about Israel be disappointed.
yeah. Just- right.
Should we? I can get a list of the songs this year.
Yeah, while you do that, I'm just gonna quickly explain. What we're gonna be doing is basically just like, talking a bit about the songs, the artists, the performances, anything around that, if there's anything around the song itself to say, contextual stuff, blah blah blah.
hmm Okay, we have some options on how to cover this. We could do it from the first place to the 37th place, or we could just do it alphabetically.
I think alphabetically, probably.
Yeah, otherwise everyone's gonna tune out after the first 5 minutes because they've heard all they want to hear.
Yeah,
Sorry,
exactly.
guys.
Sorry.
Although, yeah, let me get the list of countries alphabetically. There we go. So people are already going to tune out after this one because we're talking about the best song this year, Albania.
Uh, Yarm.
Zierim was amazing.
Kind of
Um,
robbed. Yeah. Not just kind of.
honestly, so robbed. I'm glad it did well, but that jury vote result was so sad.
We're gonna be
Like,
saying robbed a lot this episode, I think.
yeah, robbed and overrated, I think. Like, I will preface this by saying that I don't think this year's Eurovision has been the strongest.
No, me
Um,
neither.
there have been weaker, 2023, for example, but it's definitely not the best year we've had.
It's like Fat Pope, Thin Pope, where you have a good year and then a bad year, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, I mean, it was 2022, which is amazing. Then 23 was 24 was really good again. 25 is So that sets a good pattern for next year to be good. Hopefully.
Inshallah.
We can pray.
We can pray. Right.
But yeah, talking about Serum,
Zierim was really, really good. I think that was the
yeah,
first song this year when the songs like started coming out. That was the first one I was like, "Ooh, I really like this one."
it was the first song to really hit the Eurovision mark for me.
Mm,
Like it's good. I can't criticize it. There's nothing bad I can say about it. The staging's great. The song's great. The performance was so good live.
the
It was
performance
staged
got
very
better every time.
professionally.
I think it got better every
Yeah,
time.
and
Like,
Beatrice is so stable when she sings. Like,
oh yeah, Cole was like, I was not fully sold on his performance. Like at first, like I thought it was a little bit not lacking, but like I felt like he could have put more into it at first. But like the more times I saw it, and then especially in the finale, like he really delivered, I think.
Yeah, like he does add to the performance. I also just sort
Absolutely.
of saw him as a placeholder, like prop. You have to bring your role to Eurovision sort of experience because we get that quite often. But it's just his whole vibe and the way he presents himself. It really does add to the performance, and especially the way they incorporated him into the staging, where they split the stage in half with the different
Yeah,
colors.
yeah,
It added to the performance. It was really good. I have
yeah.
nothing bad to say about it at all.
Nothing
I
bad to
love you,
say.
Sculptor Electronica. Please
What's
come
my
to the
favorite
UK.
favorite song this year? Absolutely.
It's probably in my top three. I don't have my ranking with me, so if I say stuff
Yeah.
that's contradictory to that, shut up.
Right.
Okay, is that
Nothing
all we've
really
got to
else to
say about
add.
Albania? Like, it's just a
Oh,
good piece. It's a good song.
it's just a really good piece, yeah. I don't have anything else to add.
Yep. Moving on next then to Armenia, with
Hmm.
Pog.
Why is the
Um,
Armenian man singing about being a survivor?
you can't say that.
I can't say that. I'm sorry.
um, I can speak from the fandom side of this more than the song side of it. Pog has been an absolute light in the community this year,
Yeah.
especially with all of the amazing journalism he's been doing under his ESC_Gabe persona. You won't get that reference, but someone will.
Someone will.
We've never seen Gabe and Pog in the same room, and that one time we did, it was a Photoshop, so they're the same person. Um, but yeah, the song itself was
Song itself was Performance was like pretty good.
I
Um,
enjoyed the staging.
I liked the one he did in the final more than he did in the national final, even though I do
Hmm.
miss his bionic arm.
Yeah,
I will say I'm glad that he did manage to make it to the final, but I don't know. It's a very alright song.
it's yeah. I don't think it's a song that I'd move out of not qualifying,
Yeah,
to qualify instead of him.
yeah, absolutely.
Because there are more glaring issues with that semi-final
Yeah,
than Armenia qualifying. Like the song is higher energy. It fills a very distinct niche that nothing else touched this year. Um, it's like, oh, someone sent Imagine Dragons to
I was
Eurovision.
gonna say it sounds a bit like dad rock, you know?
Yeah, but
That's nothing. Not a
that's
bad thing. I like listening to Imagine Dragons every now and then.
yeah, that's like
Nothing.
yeah, there's a
This is
distinct
like
genre there that isn't being covered in Eurovision at the moment.
yeah, nothing really else to add to it. Like it was perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like that's what we're going to be seeing a lot. It was fine.
Yeah, this was a very kind of mediocre year. Where, like nothing was bad, but like nothing was
Yeah,
like well, there were a few good songs, obviously, but
there are a couple very standout, amazing songs, and a heap of stuff that I'd put on the radio and not turn off.
yeah. Right.
Um, okay, so next up is probably the most robbed song this year, "Milkshake Man" for
Oh
Australia.
my God. You can call me
Oh,
the milkshake man.
I am so sorry, Gojo.
He almost made it as well.
I
He
know,
did. Man.
like, he's a qualifier in my eyes.
Absolutely.
In my
It's
soul, he qualified.
I can you can tell that he was kind of nervous in the performance, I think, when he was on
Yeah,
stage in the
especially going on
final.
first.
Going on first at fucking Eurovision is gonna be fucking intimidating. Like you're setting the stage. I do think his performance was really good. And Gojo, if you ever listen to this, I need the number of the redhead in your music video desperately.
Like, I mean, the
No,
song's just so charming.
the song's just good. It's just good.
Musically, it's not breaking any boxes, any boundaries. It's not, it's not revolutionary musically wise. That is such good
It's not
English.
trying to
I
be
have the
though,
best
you know?
words. Yeah, no, that's what I was getting to. It doesn't need to. It does what it wants to do very well. It was an extremely entertaining thing, and I think I'm gonna have to come on to the point of the sound dampening of the audience at Eurovision this year.
Oh my God, I need to find the person that was handling sound at Eurovision this year and kill him with a hammer.
Yeah, like why was the audience just switched off? I mean, I know why, but like,
and we know why, but but like, it was also just like badly mixed. Like I'll get back to this more when we get to the UK, but the audio mixing and just like the balancing was shit this year.
yeah, no, especially in the semis. The final was a bit smoother, but the audio was not great throughout. And like, there was times where the artists were being drowned out by their own backing vocals.
Yeah, yeah,
And Gojo lost so much by not having the call and response with the audience actually be heard.
yeah. It was like because like you could see the people were going along.
Yeah, but because there's no audience chanting it back to him, it just sounded it fell a bit flat. It's not his fault. It's the Swiss broadcaster's fault and the EBU's fault for allowing that to go into production. Like this is not production ready.
I
Everything,
love the EBU.
yeah, everything felt a tiny bit rough around the edges this year.
Yeah, it's
Um,
perfectly fine, but like
it was
it just
okay.
this. I think how do you say consensus of Eurovision this year is that was all right.
Definitely much better than last year in terms of drama.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Being able to actually enjoy Eurovision without wondering if it's going to get cancelled before the final was quite enjoyable.
Gojo is now performing Milkshake Man in the lobby. This is insane.
Angelina Mango is now performing Angelina Mango by Angelina Mango and Angelina Mango.
Where did the man
Miss Angelina
go?
Mango.
Okay, we have to move
Love.
on.
We do. I'm also just going to quickly mention that Hazelbrugger is amazing, and I love you. If you're
I
listening to
was
this, Hazel,
thinking
please, I love you so much.
Hazel was like such a pleasant surprise from such a stressful Eurovision season.
I
Where she's
know.
just like,
She is just she
man.
was such a breath of sarcasm into the contest that we
Yeah,
needed.
yes.
She's officially joined my tier of elite hosts, like
Yeah.
Petra Mede and Hannah Waddingham are in that same bracket of just extremely funny.
Yeah.
Love you guys so
Absolutely.
much.
Shout out. Anyway,
Shout out. Yeah, we're gonna give them engagement here.
yeah, supporting small
People who are
artists.
listening to this have never heard of Eurovision before.
Oh no, absolutely.
Okay, so next up is the winner of Eurovision, Wasted Love.
So, okay, here's my issue with Austria almost every single year. They do what like was popular last year, I think. And like
Yeah.
nowhere has this been more apparent than this year with fucking ooh, let's do like opera singing, guys. Nemo had like opera elements. Let's do opera singing, guys. So
Let's
I
do an
just
opera techno song. It's never been done before, guys.
never, yeah. I will say because of that, I kind of hated the song at first because it was just like, oh my fucking god, like you're just tryharding at Eurovision, you know? So I went on. I see it. I see why it's so popular. It's very good. JJ has a very good voice.
Mm-hmm.
They had to castrate people for that in the past.
Yeah. I think I've seen about him as delightful. Just for some context for what I'm about to say, I studied music for about 6 years.
Oh, I
Um,
studied music for about
sh-
6 years.
no, I'm just because I'm
Fucking
like
hell.
I'm gonna sound technical. JJ's vocal control and his vocal range and the composition of the song and everything was technically perfect. I mean, he slightly missed one note in the grand final, which I don't know if you heard him grunt before the techno bit came in.
Yeah, no, I heard it.
Yeah, because he slightly missed a note just before then. I spoke to a couple people, they didn't hear anything was wrong.
I think I
So,
texted you like wasted note.
like, it clearly didn't matter because he still won. Um,
Yeah, the
it,
savior of
yeah,
Eurovision.
in those 5 minutes, I think we were all Austrian.
Yeah, there was a guy that tried to do that once. Anyway, I will say I was I don't I'm just not happy with Austria hosting again because the last time they did it, I think we watched it, it was just like kind of not very enjoyable.
It was
but
boring.
like a decade ago.
Yeah, Eurovision has changed a lot in the last 10 years.
At this point, I want to shout out the true MVP, savior of Eurovision, and the greatest to ever do it, Taya,
Oh yeah, like this is
who
her
has
first
been.
Eurovision win. Um, she's probably got many more up her sleeve. She's an extremely talented songwriter. She has really outdone herself this year.
Oh, absolutely.
This is probably the most technically amazing song she's ever written.
Mm,
Um, I can't wait to see what's next for her. I hope she comes back and writes more songs for Eurovision.
me too.
Um,
Me too.
and just more songs outside of Eurovision as well. You don't want to become a Eurovision artist.
Yeah, isn't that right? Alexander Rybak.
Alexander Rybak. Yeah.
What's it with Scandinavians, man?
You do not want to become the next I've forgotten what her name is. Emily DeForest.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Katia.
Kadias, it's not been long enough.
I mean, yeah, but despite that, Katia has been very much doing a lot of Eurovision stuff. He's been in the scene.
Okay, so next up is Azerbaijan with Run With You. It felt like a step back. Like
Yeah, Zoom Leopard was really nice.
it was. Azun Leopard was just like it was good and it was unapologetically Azeri.
You know, I really miss Turkey at Eurovision a lot, being Turkish and all that. So it was nice to kind of like secondhand see something Turkic at Eurovision because Azuna Alpar was like, it was like just not doing the thing that a lot of countries do where they just try to kind of ignore their own culture and just like trying to do, pop music that just appeals to the general person. And I do think Run With You was a step back because it was doing exactly that. There were, a few elements. There was the instrument, which name I don't know. The little
Yeah, it was there, but it was
It was there.
hidden almost. Especially in a year where everyone has tried to be so culturally genuine,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Azerbaijan's fallen back into its old pattern of pretend to be European. Like,
Sad to
I
see.
just, yeah, hope that next year's Azerbaijan Eurovision song is better.
Also, I have to say this because with no other artist I've noticed it this much, their performance wasn't good. Like their singing. Like they missed
Yeah,
notes like multiple times.
I don't, I don't like vocally critiquing someone because everyone has bad days. But
I get it, but
that
it's
one,
like
I'll criticize the performance and their performance alone. It was definitely not the strongest we've seen Mama Gamma. Yeah, as you said, there's a lot of missed notes, especially in the first verse, which sets a really bad impression that it's difficult to recover from. Like you can see how it came last.
did it actually become last, like out of
I,
everything?
I think it came last. I'll get the list up.
I don't think it was like the worst. We'll get to which song I think was the worst in a little bit, I think. Jesus. Okay.
37th. That is. I don't think it deserved 37th, but it
No.
was.
Like maybe 35th.
Yeah. Speaking of 35th, 35th our next country, Belgium. I never got the hype.
I'm sorry. I just can't be asked. I'm sorry.
I wanted Mintisa.
There were so many better artists in Belgium's national final that I think should have made it in.
Yeah, Mintisa, Le Manu.
It's like not a bad song. I just so aggressively do not give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to get into like Mean Girl territory in the first episode of your review, but like.
Put that in a more gentle British way. I struggled to see the vision. I struggled to see what he was really going for with the whole branding. I've heard from a couple people that he felt really lost on stage because he's in all red, and the staging was all red, and he can't find him.
Yeah.
Like, the song really did struggle to make an impression.
I think the performance could have been better if like the other people on stage weren't made to look almost exactly like him. They could have been like maybe dressed in like all black or something and like just like given a little bit of contrast while keeping the whole red theme. But like I don't know. Perfectly okay, but I just really don't care. I'm sorry.
I do have to mention this is a very black and red year.
It is, yeah.
Like a lot of artists were either black or red this year, or both. And I mean, I get it. It's just like kind of in at the moment, fashion-wise. But it does look like it's the Eurovision hosted in Albania.
Yeah. Just need everyone doing the eagle. How did you know I was Albanian?
Next up, Croatia with Marko Bosniak, Poison Cake, which I also struggle to see the vision of.
All right. Nightmare Twink.
Yeah. We are legally obligated to have a yearly demon twink.
I think it's all right. The only part about the song that I really hate is like the thing that's leading up to like the chorus, so, like the hook, where it's like, you know?
I'm gonna say this as an Elsha fan. It's one of the few things that I'm not the hugest fan of about Kitaban as well. The childish aesthetic coming into the pre-chorus.
What? The little.
I mean, I get it. I get the point. And I love you, Elsha, because there's like a 25% chance you're listening to this, given that I'll probably post it on my story when it comes out. I love you so much.
Shout out Elsa, man. Shout out Elsa.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I struggle to quite get. It seems to be a me thing because most people tend to like it. My mom loved Croatia this year. She really did.
I mean, I think my mother, the only thing my mother said to Croatia, I think, was "What's with the outfit?" and then just like went back to playing like her tablet game. I will say I like the performance more than the music video. If that counts for anything. Like the music video has like this constant like close zoom in top down angle, but like that's just like me, I guess.
Okay, so just going back to Austria for a second, because it's also relevant to the next song, Cyprus. Is that those songs were both staged by the man who did Ireland staging last year.
Ooh.
You can really feel it with Austria. Like they're both very art housey.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yep, but Cyprus's as well is quite. It's less so, but it's still there.
Yeah, but I can still see it definitely. Which hey, Cyprus. I usually don't like Cyprus's songs. Usually think they're like kind of boring, but this year was really good. My mom really, really liked Cyprus this year. I think it was also in the first semifinal. It was 11th place, so it just missed it.
Yeah, I did think it would sneak into the final, honestly.
Yeah, me too. Then it didn't.
Yeah. Also, Cyprus sending a Cypriot for once. Good for you. Good for you,
Yeah.
Cyprus.
Nature is healing, man.
We're finally back to normal, guys.
On that note, I do think Armenia next year should send Baby No Money.
Baby No Money, yes.
Baby
We've
No
also
Money, please.
We've covered everything there is to cover about Cyprus already.
Not really a lot to cover.
Like, there isn't much to say about it. It's an okay song. The performance was a lot better than I thought it would be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, it revealing who the song's about was interesting.
Yeah.
And the
That's it.
songwriter, I've seen a couple videos about her, and she seems like quite a nice person. So, next up is Czechia. Kiss Kiss Goodbye by Adonis.
Adonis seems like a really nice person. I've seen a lot of videos of him with the rest of the cast just like being an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah, he was like an honorary beauty blender. Do you know about the beauty blenders? You weren't really in the fandom.
I wasn't this year. I don't know why. I was just like, I had stuff to. I had a job and shit, man. I have a job now.
So the beauty blenders are Austria, Denmark, Malta, and Norway. And they were really the highlight of this year. It was like the pro-Palestine squad last year. They made a lot of content together, and they were very.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It
was nice to see some genuine friendships forming out of Eurovision. It always is.
Yeah. It was like last year when fucking Aiko and the drummer from San Marino started dating. They're still dating as well. Like I think they're like.
Yeah, no, I think Aiko released a song about her recently.
Yeah, no, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
It's like I love lesbians. Good for them.
Good for them.
Let's go lesbians.
It's also the second year that the main central friend group has had a member win.
Oh yeah.
But back to Czechia, because I don't want to do Adonis dirty by not talking about him. The song is.
I'm so sorry, Adonis.
Yeah, sorry. We both have ADHD. I have ADHD. You're community diagnosed.
I have a third, more sinister option.
So Czechia, yeah. Adonis was good. The song was good. The performance was good. I never got the dance break. I never understood why it was there.
I think my only gripe with the performance was like the flowery thing he had in front of the mic.
So the context behind the song, in case anyone doesn't know, is that it's about his emotionally unavailable father.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this was mentioned by Rylan when the BBC cast was going on.
Right.
But like it is just very. We have a lot of twins with daddy issues at Eurovision.
Yeah.
We do. It's kind of the native.
I wonder
It's
where
their
they all
native
come from.
habitat.
What Eurovision?
Yeah. I didn't have a father figure. That's why I like Erika Wikman. I have a father figure. He's probably also listening to this. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Ash's dad.
Okay. So Czechia, yeah, decent song. Sucks it didn't qualify, but I don't know what I would have had to qualify instead. Is the issue.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Next, we have Denmark with hit Sissal Hallucination, breaking Denmark's record non-qualification streak, which
Yeah.
is good for her.
Congratulations. I really didn't think she would make it.
No, me neither. I did not think that sending Euphoria in the big 2025 would work, but it did.
I mean,
It worked in 2023 as
did.
well, so it's catering towards an older demographic of people who watched Eurovision when they were growing up in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Which
I think
works.
it's because she was the only one really catering to that demographic this year.
Mm-hmm. She basically took the entire vote segment, yeah.
Yeah, everyone fucking 40 and up voted for her.
This year was so young.
Yeah.
Like you don't feel as old as when a 19-year-old qualifies to the final for Norway. I'm 20. I'm 20. Like
I turned 22 last week. I woke up with so
yeah.
pain in my lower back.
Yep. It doesn't get better.
Yeah, that's literally the first thing I heard when I turned 22. Like, a friend of my mom came in. I was like, oh, how you feeling? I was like, my back hurts. I was like, yep, doesn't get better.
So I don't really have much to
I
say
really don't
about
either. I'm
Hallucination.
sorry, Cecil. You seem nice.
She's a good singer. But I could talk about the staging. The staging was very bizarre.
You think?
I didn't quite understand some of it.
It was like Veiley.
But it worked. Yeah. We have to get through these so we can talk about the stronger entries.
Whether that's strong love or strong hate.
We're not talking about Estonia. Well, we are, because I hate it. I do apologize to any Tommy Cash stennies. I just really don't.
I don't like him, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah,
I'm
not a big fan of him as a person.
He feels like such a con man to me, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He feels like he's like purposefully trying to integrate himself in that whole, the Joost Klein fan niche. Like the Joost Carrier,
the Carrier niche.
The Carrier niche. The Carrier Cavern, you might call it. And a lot of people like just accept him into that because like, oh, he's like kind of quirky and funny. But like the song,
some of the comments he's made in this season have been extremely.
It's just been kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Like he's just been.
It's meant to be satire. I can read
get
it's meant
it.
to be satire, but I just don't. I don't get it. Is the thing.
That's a ways to like play the kind of snobby, arrogant diva that he was trying to be. And
I felt it's very 14-year-olds. Hey, you don't like edgy humor, liberal?
Listen up, liberal. I shit my
general
pants.
vibe I got from him. How many liberals does it take to change a Lookback bulb?
None. They're too busy. They gender.
That was the vibe I generally got from him.
Yeah, I also just really didn't like his song.
It was offensive. But not in a funny way.
What in the fucking 1920s are we doing bringing back racism against Italians?
It felt mean-spirited.
Yeah.
It did.
And it's just like it wasn't a good song. Like I didn't enjoy listening to it ever, and the live was not better. Like he is not a good singer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, so giving him 1 point of credit, the stage invasion was a really funny piece of
That was really funny. I laughed at that. That was really funny.
Yeah, that was great. That was one of the highlights like that was one of the choreography highlights as a single isolated moment of the entire competition. I
Mm.
can't fault that. That was really funny, and it's something that hasn't been done very much recently.
Mm.
So it does feel unexpected the first time you see it, and it works.
It worked. Like I remember they cut to the person that like jumps in the stage being in the crowd, and I saw it and was like, yeah, okay, fucking obviously paid actor in the crowd, man. You could have at least gotten like 15
Yeah.
of them or something to like bring the vibe in better. But then
Yeah, I just thought she was planted there for the car for just like the
and then she runs in on stage. I lost my shit.
yeah, she just throws herself around him. It was it was
Yeah,
good. Can't
that was
fault
good.
it.
That was good. But like,
As much as I'll try and
fucking
fault everything about that performance.
how did he get this many points from the public, man? I just
I
don't
don't
see it.
know.
Like, I'm
I
sorry,
can't believe he won the televote.
I genuinely can't see it. Yeah, I can't believe he won the televote. Anyway,
Yeah, I can't believe he got the most public points of any country.
yeah, yeah, man,
It was crazy.
that was
I
crazy.
can't believe the juries gave it 100 points, to be honest.
I can't. Yeah, I.
It was yeah,
It was like,
not Europe's strongest song.
yeah,
But now we can move on to something that is good.
yeah.
What comes after E in the alphabet?
Finland,
Yeah, Finland. We can talk about Finland. Finland was also staged by the same guy who did Ireland's performance.
Erika,
He's been really busy this year.
Erika
Yeah,
Wikman.
Erika Wikman. Erika Wiksaman.
I was gonna make a joke about being a fucking lesbian, but like I can't even think of anything head full of
Yeah,
Erika Wikman. I really liked it. I remember
it was fun.
like she was like just such a diva. The whole thing, like I enjoyed it with her. I didn't enjoy it with Tony Cash because she was just like having fun with it, you know? She wasn't being mean-spirited.
Yeah, she was being really nice to everyone around her as well.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed it, and the performance was so fun. And
The fucking
like
thing at the end with the giant microphone stand.
it was amazing.
I do,
Truly glorious.
yeah. I do want to point out one funny thing when I was watching the rehearsals with my mother, like, you know, the big compilation.
Yeah.
And when it was Finland, I pointed to the crowd and was like, "Oh look, nobody came."
Yeah,
Yeah, that was funny. Anyway,
okay. We'll give you that one. That one can go on
Yeah.
air.
ah,
You get one.
just the one.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have much to say about Finland again because it was just a good song.
It was just a good song. It was a good performance. It was fun. It was
Yep.
campy. It was horny. It was great.
It was what Eurovision is about.
It's crazy. It's potty.
Although I'm glad they toned down the strobe effect for the Eurovision.
Yeah,
Because in the national final that thing was blinding.
this was a very stroby Eurovision still.
We literally had a song
Like-
called Strobe Lights.
It got me very agitated at some point. Like I was, maybe that's also part of the reason why I didn't like Red Sebastian as much because I was just like fuming at my screen, like it's fucking my eyes.
It hurt. It did hurt this year.
It hurt. Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as Georgia 2021, was it? I don't remember. That thing was really stroby. Next up is La France.
La France. This used to be your favorite, I think.
It was my winner for a while, but Latvia ended up taking it.
Yeah.
So I have a message for the French people listening to this.
Is it a
Macron
gesture?
explosion. I hope that helps.
Bonjour, nous sommes vendredi.
Bonjour, nous sommes vendredi. Okay. To the song. Luan,
Do we have to?
I've been a fan of Luan for probably about 6 years now. She is an incredibly talented live singer.
I remember you were very excited when it was announced the one would perform.
I
for
was,
Eurovision.
because I love her. I really do.
Mm.
It was like when
Mm.
Lazaro was announced, I was like, I know her.
Wait, my Scrimblow.
My Scrimblow is doing Eurovision.
That's how I felt with Germany when they put Feuerschwanz into the national final,
Yeah,
which we'll get to.
we will in 2 songs' time.
Oh, Jesus.
But France was objectively good.
Yeah, it was good.
The staging, I will question.
I was constantly worried about her getting sand in her mouth.
She did a couple times. It wasn't real sand, it was cork. It's actually all cork from her own personal wine collection. Every single French person produces enough cork waste every single year to power that entire performance.
I'd be even more worried then. Like, what if she gets cork in her mouth? Like, I think they have to take that off air. Oh, on fire today, Jesus!
What if she got God County Cork in her mouth? What then?
Oh, it's county cork. Fuck Yeah. It was a good song. It was good. But like, I don't know. Like, I think maybe I'm a little tired of the French ballad because like they're always good. They're always well done. Always have powerful vocals, but like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a little burned out on it, and I could stand to see something like Filen again from France.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, France could definitely stand to change things up again.
Yeah,
I guess I'm not woke, okay? You win with your France sending an emotional ballad stuff.
you win. That's what you want, right? To win. Oh man. But I'd say by no means a bad song. I don't want to talk it down. Like Luan is an incredibly talented singer. Very powerful performance. It's just like I guess I'm a bit burned out.
France has a massive music scene, and it's so much bigger than just chanson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing against chanson. Chanson's a great genre, but there is more to France than just that one genre. I would love to see something like Filen again, as you said,
Yes.
or something from the rap scene.
Ooh, yeah.
France has got a massive rap scene, and it'd be really interesting to see some of that come into Eurovision as well.
Maybe we'll get that through Germany at some point.
Get French rap through Germany. Yes, you probably will.
Yeah. It's more likely than getting it from France.
The Netherlands has sent the most creative French song in 3 years. So I don't know where we're at now. So next up is Georgia, which I'm not going to talk about very much.
Yeah.
I'll give it. It's a technically good song. I am not a fan of her politics.
Yeah.
And her politics poison the song.
People like to often say that Eurovision shouldn't be political or that like people should not bring personal politics into Eurovision, but it is a fact of the matter that that's just like impossible to do with the nature of the contest. But I also don't want to talk about it too much, so I'm just gonna say I thought it was an alright song. But I don't know. It does poison the song for me a bit. I think that's all I'm gonna say about it, honestly.
It is genuinely impossible to be apolitical as an artist. When you make art, you can't be apolitical. Your art is influenced by the ways you live and how you think, and you can't make something separate from that because it's part of you.
And that's the Georgia segment, baby. Anyway, let's move on.
Off to Germany next.
This is my time to shine. As the resident German.
I remember you not being a particularly massive fan of this song when it won.
Yeah, I may have said a few things about Stefan Raab that could get me in a courtroom.
Yeah.
I was very, very, very angry about Feuerschwanz not winning because I have been listening to Feuerschwanz for a while. Like, almost as long as I've known you, I've been listening to them. Like, it's not one of my most favorite bands, but like, seeing them make it to the final and then not even get into the further selection, and then the fucking two Austrians that first struck me as Nepo babies won.
Yeah.
I was a little angry,
I mean, I get it. I wasn't a fan of Schiffsacher. I wasn't a fan of the format at all. Because it was the Raab popularity contest. Does Raab like you? And he would have already picked his favorite songs at the start.
Every single thing Raab touched this year, by the way, absolutely turned to ash. Like, I don't know why he even came back to TV. Like, Chefsache was horrible. There were a few good contestants.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of how he promoted the song
Mm,
in the middle of another artist's performance on the Eurovision fan
Raab
stage.
sucks, yeah.
Um, the song, though, if we're gonna just judge the song by how we feel about it now,
I love it.
I always liked it. It did nothing but
Yeah,
grow
it
on me.
really, really grew on me. I always have at least one song every year that I absolutely hate at first that I end up loving by the end. And Bala was definitely one of those songs for me because I was singing along at the end during the final. I was like fucking going absolutely crazy. Like I really do like it now. My apologies to Abo and Tuna because I've said a lot of very mean things. The performance, really, really nice performance at the final. I did not like the one at Chefsache.
She was ill.
She was ill. Yeah, that was also one of the things that I didn't like. I thought she just couldn't sing live, and then absolutely blew me off my socks with her live performance.
Like, I mean, it's not a vocally challenging song, but she was clearly very nervous, and it did impact the first verse. But
Yeah, I think you can
the
tell.
hook was delivered quite well. She was one of the weaker vocalists this year anyway, but the song isn't meant to be a ballad. Like she doesn't need.
Well, it doesn't rely on strong
Yeah,
vocals. It relies on more of a vibe to the general song, and on that part, they both delivered very well.
Apple didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, he did,
Did the
just not
back, he
live.
did all the backing stuff, which is good.
Yeah,
But Eurovision, please allow live instruments to be played again. They say,
yeah. It doesn't have to be,
yeah,
mandatory,
just allow
but
it where it's a lot where you can.
yeah.
The reason they don't do it anymore is because if you have instruments like that, they need to be plugged in, and that causes issues. And
Mm,
if you don't have them
that's a
plugged in,
hassle.
then you have Wi-Fi problems connecting them to the main array. And microphones fail often enough as it is. I mean, this microphone has failed 3 times during this recording, which hopefully you haven't noticed because we tested it out.
Yes,
It was good. It was a good song.
it was good. It was good. I hated it at first. It really grew on me. I think that's all that needs to be said. I would have liked to see Feuerschwanz a lot. I don't think we would have got a lot of points, but I think Germany needs to stop focusing on sending stuff that will get them points, and instead we should be sending stuff that, is just like fun. We should be having a little more fun at Eurovision. Not only have fun, not go back into I don't feel hate, but like
Sorry, Genrick.
so, yeah, you seem fun, but your song's shit, man. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I think there is a balance we can strike between fun and
Good.
fucking try-harding.
Yeah. Like, I think this year was definitely in the right direction for Germany. Sending a song in German for the first time in about 20 years was good. It was an objectively good thing, and this is the single highest number of own language songs we've had in Eurovision since which requirement was dropped.
As well as from all the big five,
Yeah.
which is great.
Wait, yeah, every single big five country sent a song in their own language this year, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it's showing Eurovision's going the right way in that aspect, at least. There are lots of valid criticisms to be made about the EBU, which I'm sure we'll be making over the next 12 months.
We should like make it halfway this episode, I think. Probably
Yeah, we
not,
could
but
go up to Ireland.
sure.
Then we can do the other half.
Do I have things to say about Ireland? But let's keep going.
Yeah. Next up is Greece.
Oh, it's fucking Sniper Wolf.
Yeah, that's all I can see. And I wasn't sold on the song to begin with. As I learned more about it,
I think the song was tainted for both of us because, in case you didn't watch Greece's national final, it was very bad.
yeah, it was like this podcast, except for 4 hours.
Yeah, and with ads, a lot of ads.
With ads, yeah. I liked when they had singing in the middle of my ads.
I've been saying I will say like 5 million times. I just say it a lot. I'm sorry. But I think Astero Mata was my favorite song of the national final, so I'm glad it made it in. But also wasn't super sold on it. But then as you learn more about the song, its meaning, and then you see it performed a little bit more, and it's like it's really good.
It is, and the meaning behind it is so important.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can put it down into words here, but Claudia has spoken about the meaning of her song, and it'd be really good to hear from her in her own words about what the song means to her.
yeah, absolutely.
It's a very powerful song, especially once you know the story behind it.
Maybe we'll talk more about it in like a separate thing when we like, because I do think we can deep dive our favorites at some point, because I personally have a little bit of history with the meaning of the song,
Yeah.
but I'll get into that when time's due.
Our next song will be Iceland, which was so fun. It was so fun.
Iceland was very much needed fun, I think.
Yeah, I'm so happy they qualified.
Yeah, me too. I think I was like pretty sure they were going to because they were the first song, and the first song usually qualifies if it's like something impactful, and they just go on stage like, "Yo, let's go!" Like just fucking good energy instantly. They're just like
It was fun.
good vibes, you know, good vibes.
Yes, it was very good vibe.
Why doesn't the big vibe just eat the little vibe?
Exactly. Is he stupid?
Is he stupid?
It was so needed, and it was a great way to open the show. I'm so happy they qualified. As a couple people who are listening to this will probably know, I am a huge fan of Iceland this year. My friend group has literally become known as the boat people because of this. Like, we all love Vibe. He's
Just yeah,
wow.
he ate the other
Just
one.
the
Did you
one.
forget?
Yeah, oh yeah, right, of course, yeah. Vibe is a great band, group, whatever.
Duo. I don't care.
And my favorite moment is when he swipes left on his own bandmates.
Yes, that was really funny. I also like when they fucking swim across the floor. I fucking pissed myself laughing at that.
It was just fun. It was fun from
Unapologetic
start to
fun.
end. It didn't need to be anything more, and we need some of that. Eurovision takes itself too seriously nowadays.
I think they were possibly the most robbed artist this year, though, if we go to fucking voting. They got 0 points from the jury. 0 points from the jury. 0.
I know.
That's crazy.
And like, how many points did it get from the public?
Like a good amount. They didn't come
From the
last.
public, it got 33.
But like, we have to talk about the fucking jury and public points like separately in another thing because that's a whole other chicanery going on.
Yeah, that was a mess.
It was a fucking
We
mess.
need to have a proper conversation about that at some point.
I mean, there's still info coming out about that anyway, so like, let's keep it to the topic, maybe.
On to our final song for this half. It's not actually half-half, but
Half enough.
it's close enough.
Ireland.
Is Ireland.
Boy, do we have things to
Which
say.
I am okay. So I am going to preface this by saying I do not dislike Emmy. I do not dislike Like a Party. I wanted Velta to win.
Ah,
Or Bobby Allo.
Bobby Allo. I wanted so bad, man. The song.
And also, it would have been really nice if she won Eurovision. You know, Bobby just exuded this confidence and this just like raw energy that really would have come across very well in Eurovision.
The Irish national final was completely fucked.
I really don't like the panel style.
Full hate to the jury, except for Bambi Thug, who I love with all of my heart, who was also much nicer than the rest of the jury. But
Yeah,
like, what the fuck was going on?
it felt rigged.
It felt rigged. Like, it felt like they were trying to put biases on the voting, which, you know, happened, I think.
Yeah, like I have no issue with Emmy. I think she is a lovely person.
Yeah.
She seems so incredibly positive. I've got nothing bad to say about her. And I do want to have a moment where we actually talk about her song because I know she's been getting a lot of this.
Yeah,
Where
absolutely.
people are just talking about, just talking about the Euro song and how it possibly wasn't
I'm
fair.
actually avoiding talking about the song because when I think about Like I cry.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have a second where I talk about Relta. I know you don't completely share my opinions here. I think Fire is an incredibly powerful song, and it was vocally amazing. And it was the kind of thing that Ireland would have done well with, because it's what people expect from Ireland. It's what people think about when they think of Ireland,
Yeah,
is folky ballads, and that would have done so well because it matches their national image.
yeah, I think that Like a Party is very much a song that a Scandinavian country would have sent, which makes sense because she is Norwegian, I think. But like, it was a really good song, I think. It was a good song. It was fun. It was just like, it was good. Yeah, it's just like kind of a fun song, fun performance and everything. But like, it's just like eternally cursed with like people who watched Eurosong. It's
Yes.
people who know people who don't know meme.
Yeah. I will also mention that the live performance was sort of lacking something.
In the final, it was. I think it was like maybe she was sick. She just like didn't really have her
Or
heart in
really
it.
nervous. She was looking. There's just some energy not there.
Yeah, that's what my mom and I immediately noticed as well. It's just like there's like something lacking here.
This song, like that song, is meant to be so incredibly upbeat and that, like, dance tracky, and I didn't quite get the impression.
This is barely a like
Again,
affair,
I'm trying to be nice.
you know?
I am always trying to be very nice because
These are
people
people
critiquing your performances is extremely mean, and it's necessary.
at the end say that, even if we make our jokes and, we talk about the artists in maybe a bit of a mean way, I do acknowledge, I think we both acknowledge the insane effort that goes into these performances, into making these songs, and the insane
Yeah,
stress that people endure while performing for Eurovision. It's tough to be at Eurovision. It's fun, but it's also fucking exhausting. And I wish all the artists a swift recovery from, the stress of being at Eurovision.
I'm happy that this year has been less traumatizing for a lot of artists than last year was.
Yeah, I think we're thinking about the same thing from last year.
There's a lot of stuff happening last year.
A lot of stuff happening.
Everything was just. I mean, like both Ollie Alexander and Sylvester Bell have explicitly joked about needing therapy after Eurovision
Mm,
because it's just such an incredibly intense experience, and especially the last couple of years with all of the geopolitical shenanigans going on around the contest.
yeah.
These people are amateurs. Like, they aren't career. A lot of them aren't career musicians. They've never been on a stage of this size before. Never been in front. They'll never be in front of this many people again in their entire lives.
Mm.
It's an experience that is so difficult to prepare for, and it's so difficult
It's
to.
all basically crammed into 1 week as well, like out of nowhere.
Yeah. And then when you've got all this extra stuff going on that people don't have time to prepare for, with all of the. So, I'll mention the Yost Klein drama in passing. We need to have a different conversation about that at some point.
That is going to be a 3-part video.
I can't. Yeah, I can't explain. I can't get into it. We don't have time.
If you're here, you know what happened.
Yeah, I have utmost respect for every single artist this year. I'm not mentioning Israel very much, obviously.
We're really dancing around the topic with all the grace of an elephant.
Yeah, I don't have anything personally against Yuval Raphael.
Of course not. We don't know her.
She seems, from what I've seen, she seems a lot more normal than last year's. So I'm not saying anything more on that topic. But I do have the utmost respect for all of the artists, and it's an impossible situation to be in as a Eurovision artist.
I think the more
Like-
we say on that specifically as well, the more we just we can never do well in a Eurovision podcast about our political opinions. So
I don't like it's not constructive. Everything that we have to say has already been said in every format a million times by everyone.
we'd rather just
Share our opinions on the musical side of the contest. Like,
bring a little more pizzazz into it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like every single Eurovision space has been dominated by political bullshit for the last 2 years. It's always been an issue, but especially since everything that's happened recently, it has been constant. It's been since the start of 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine and people started commenting about Ukraine's success and how that was political. Which obviously there was a political element there. But Polish Orchestra was a very good artist, and they definitely deserved the win. They were my winner anyway.
It was a nice
Before
moment
the-
of European solidarity, I think.
Yes, it was. But ever since then, the discourse around the contest has been irreparably changed. So
Yeah.
it's not something that I think is productive to talk about.
Maybe in a separate thing we can.
Yeah. Apart from having
But-
this little bit of a disclaimer at the
Outro.
end. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, not sure when this is going to come out, but this is the first half-ish of the Eurovision songs this year. There are plenty more to go, plenty more very lukewarm cold takes. for you to hear. I have a lot to say about Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and the UK. So
Latvia.
and Latvia. Oh my god. Yep. Okay. That's a later problem. Well, not a problem. I love you guys. So yeah, I think that's all we have time for because we record these quite late. I never know how to end something like this. So bye.
Yeah, me neither. So I'm just going to say, thank you for enduring this.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Euro Review. If you did, please give us a follow in your podcast app. We hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.